Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Fish. Hope you're doing well. So today we'll be discussing a very important topic under Open Telemetry. I would say if anyone really wants to understand how to enable application level metrics monitoring using Open Telemetry, this is a must-watch session or a video for him or her. So let's see what we're gonna quickly do in this session. So first of all, if you have not liked and subscribed the channel, please do that so that you can get all the details related to Open Telemetry, Grafana, Elasticsearch, and so on. You can like and subscribe from this section. Okay, let's quickly see what we have in today on our plate. So, if you really watched my earlier videos on Open Telemetry, first of all, I have created this video where we are enabling Open Telemetry of monitoring using a sample application and bringing metrics logs and traces on Kubernetes, and then the same thing in Docker-based environment. Next, we saw how to enable logs, basic logs using log key, you know, component or a collector within OpenTelemetry. And then we saw how to bring node exporter matrices from any VM to uh, Grafana and Prometheus using OpenTelemetry agent. Now, today, what we'll be looking, which is very important to understand, we'll be installing Prometheus on Ubuntu box, install Grafana or Ubuntu box, and then we'll install the Petclinic popular Spring Boot application. Very important. We'll be doing certain customizations so that we can capture the important matrices pertaining to this application, and then finally we'll capture those application data with Otel Collector Agent and route that data to the Grafana and so on. So let's quickly jump onto the practical implementation of it without any wasting any time. So I've created a GitHub page which will be posting into the description of this video. So hope everything is perfect. Let's quickly see what is there in today's session. So let me open the GitHub page from the VS Code. Okay, so today we'll be doing the application level monitoring. I'm talking about this page. So see, if you really want to understand more about OpenTelemetry, you can quickly go to this documentation reference. But yeah, let's see what we are doing today. So having said that, you need to install an Prometheus on this Ubuntu machine. If you've not installed, you can quickly go to this documentation. But for the sake of saving time, I've already installed uh, I would say Prometheus. Let me see whether the Prometheus is running or not. If not, then we'll restart the services. Okay, my Prometheus is running, so hopefully I should be able to reach out to my Prometheus on 9090. Perfect, my Prometheus is running, so that is the first prerequisite that is needed. And then second prerequisite is install Grafana. Again, you can follow this documentation. Let me see whether Grafana service is up and running or not. Okay, Grafana is running. So let's see whether Grafana is running on 3000. Yes, Grafana is also up and running. Good. So my two prerequisites are done. I'll now see, I'll install this Petclinic web application onto the Ubuntu machine. This is a bit heavy application, so better to install onto a heavy machine like 4 GB minimum RAM. Okay, I'll do this git clone from this GitHub URL. This is again a reference documentation for this Petclinic. So I've already opened this git cloning is done. You can see I'm already inside this Petclinic folder. You see Spring Petclinic. So git cloning is done, and then you are inside folder. Perfect. Now, what you need to do for enabling matrices, this is very important point. I opened that folder into the other VS Code. Okay, this is it application I'm talking about. The Spring Pet Clinic, or for that matter, for any Spring Boot application, you need to modify anything. You need to come to this pom.xml file. So, what you need to add, which might not be there in your Spring Boot application, for enabling matrices, you need to enable two things under dependency sections. Okay, I've already highlighted. So what you need to do, you need to come back to my documentation. You need to modify this file and add this dependency, the Spring Boot starter actuator, which will expose your metrics onto Prometheus endpoint under this, Spring framework boot. This is the first dependency, and then capturing the matrices onto the Prometheus endpoint. You need to make sure that you are enabling micrometer registry hyphen Prometheus. These two dependencies are bare minimum that you need to keep it under this dependency section. Okay, make sure that you're adding it. If you don't have it, then you can get into this documentation and you can add it. So this is the addition that you need to do in your pom.xml file. And then for enabling the endpoint of the Prometheus endpoint, you need to go to this folder, which is under this resources only, source main, and then resources, and then this is an application.properties. We need to add these two lines: management.endpoint.web.exposure.include to asterisk, and then management.metrics.export.prometheus.enable is to true. You should make sure that you are having a metric endpoint for this application, which will capture your server request, whether the application is running or not. Once these two modifications are done, then only you need to run the Maven package for this, and this Maven package will create a jar file for your application. So I'm into this folder. Okay, I'll run this Maven package. I've skipped this test through because this running this test generally takes time and it takes a lot of memory. So this will create a Maven package. Okay, so you may get certain errors. So make sure that you are having your Maven and Java already installed on your machine. Java you can have minimum 17 for this Petclinic application. I've not created a video how to install it, but yeah, you can simply get it from Google how to install Java 17 and a Maven package or Maven binary into your any machine, Ubuntu or Linux or any other machine, right? So let it run. It will create a Maven package, and then once Maven package is created, then we'll run this application. So hope it normally this application is on port number 8080. So yeah, so build success. So this is finished. I'll run this application. Now you'll see this here. There will certain jar file that are created under target. Okay, you can see certain jar files got created. So I'll just run this command and we'll bring up the application, hoping that it should not run with any error. And even if it runs with error, do not get frightened. It will give you a proper error by just giving you error or not, right? So currently we are doing third step. First step was make sure that your Prometheus is running. Second step was to make sure your Grafana is running. You can put it onto different machines or you can put it onto the same machine. And third step is make sure your application is running. And application can also run on different machine. You need to just first of all make your application running and send the important application level messages to the Prometheus endpoint. And that will so you say it has been completed the initialization in 2 milliseconds. Let's see whether the application is running or not. Okay, I need to just uh, add one more document. Check the application on port 8080. Right, so you need to come here and then I'll just run localhost 8080. Good. Your pet clinic application is up and running. I will, these are certain things I can simply go and add an owner. I'll just try to uh, add an owner. Fine, so owner is added, and then I'll just go to veterinarians and then I'll click on error also. It will generate certain error onto my application. Then all these errors, see, error got generated, triggered. Okay, so my application is up and running. Perfect. So now what I need to do, I need to see whether the matrices are being generated from this application or not. So I'll come on here. How to see whether I'll just add these things to my documentation. So there's an actuator which we have enabled, right? First of all, we'll see. Okay, so this link is coming nice. Now I'll see whether my Prometheus endpoint has also been enabled. Yeah, I can see the server request, all these things pertaining to this application is nicely giving all the messages. And this is coming only because of you know two modifications that we have done. That I'll go back to that thing that is very important to understand. You need to enable these two dependencies for sure. Otherwise, you will not get these endpoints enabled. Okay. Now you have Prometheus running, you have Grafana running, you have your application running, and which is exposing an endpoint. Now we need to just capture that endpoint and then send it to Prometheus using an Open Telemetry Collector Agent. Now in the fourth step, what I need to do, I'll be installing Open Telemetry Collector Agent on the Ubuntu machine. So these are the certain steps you need to follow. And then once you're, so let me go to this location again because Hotel Collector Agent is already installed on my machine. Just blindly follow this documentation. That's what. So you will get this hotel collect contrib package, and then move this original file, and then you modify the configuration.yaml file. Now what I'm saying, just blindly paste the contents of hotel config petclinic.yaml file to this hotel contrib file. This is a content I've already pasted into my GitHub. So what you need to do, you need to paste this. Now what I'm saying, there are three sections in this. uh, Receivers, and then processors, and then finally the outputs. Okay, so yeah, you can see receivers, processors, and exporters basically in a portal collector. So what will happen? First of all, receivers will receive uh, you know on certain endpoints. Okay, the first receiver is definitely your Prometheus. Now Prometheus is getting matrices of this Otel Collector configuration matrices on port number 8888. Node exporter is pumping matrices for this node on 9100, and the Pet Clinic, the way we just installed all the matrices which were showing here, right? These matrices. No, now these matrices will be read from port number 8080, and it will give you a job name called as pet clinic underscore hotel, and it will be pushed to Prometheus. Okay, and certain other host matrices are also being pushed by hotel. Okay, and then processor, we are not processing anything. Exporter, there's something which we want to understand today. Logging, we are not doing anything logging today, but this is the Prometheus remote write exporter, that whatever is coming, please export to this Prometheus, which is nothing on the localhost 1990 API v1, write. And this is my pipeline. So today we are talking only about metrics. We'll have a pet clinic log, video separately. But what we are saying in my pipeline, that all the matrices which are coming under the umbrella of OTLP, Prometheus, and node process it with this processor, and then finally export to Prometheus remote write. So this is the channels. Prometheus captures the data, and then export sending the data to Prometheus remote write, and it is capturing both infrastructure metrics and the application metrics. We'll just quickly see, and then come out of this file. Once you are out of this file, and then you will simply run the Otel collector. Okay, it's coming back to this page. Now I'll just see the status of my Otel collector. Okay, if it is not running, I'll just simply run it. It is already running. Let me just stop it. mm, Stop. Okay, I'll just run it again just to make sure that it is this Otel collector, so that it can pick. Let me see. T8 US. Okay, my Otel collector is running now. You can see. Perfect. We'll check the application metrics on Grafana. Before we check on Grafana, let's see on Prometheus. Now there's a magic query which will see how many matrices are coming for each job. Okay, so I'll just run this query. Count of distinct matrices by each job. I'll run this. Okay, interestingly, I have a lot of things now. So when you say this, you know, empty job, you saw I was showing one configuration file of this hotel collector. Everything is coming from hotel. So this empty host matrices are host matrices for hotel collectors coming from this section. So this 298 matrices are from there. Hotel collector is one of the job which is pumping 112 matrices, which is nothing but this one hotel collector. The matrices for this, the open telemetry collector. Then we have a Prometheus. Now Prometheus is not from coming from here. Interestingly, then from where the job is coming. Prometheus itself is doing its monitoring. Okay, I show you everything. So this nothing is in dark. So I'll use cat Prometheus.yaml. So Prometheus itself is doing monitoring of his under this job name, which is monitoring 1990. So this is the one. Node exporter I already explained. It is coming from this hotel collector. Okay, and etc hotel config. Okay, let me go to that config.yaml file. Okay, so node exporter is pulling all the data from port number 9100. Is the one that job name, and that pet clinic hotel is the one which is actuator Prometheus. See, this is on 161 matrix. Now let's see everything onto the Grafana also. I'll come here, I'll explore, and then I'll run that magic query here. Now you see, now Petclinic related matrices coming from Otel is coming here. So I'll just do this filtration quickly. You see, it was not coming sometime back and then started coming 15 minutes ago. And what are the important matrices that it is coming? I'll just do. So you see, I've done the filtration of Petclinic Hotel job, and then I'm selecting distinct matrices. I'll do that distinct matrices now. I can see all the things is coming. But now I'll do one thing for understanding for one of the important matrices. I'll run one query. I want to understand how many server requests that has happened on this my pet clinic application with the status code of not equals to 200 basically, which has run might be an error or something else. Okay. So I'll just run this. You see, it is having owners new have 302 status redirection and server error I've generated 4 times and client error 0. Now I'll come on to this. I'll just generate 2 more error. Okay. And then I'll go here and then I'll find add owner. I'll just say Jack. I'm adding one more person. No. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Okay. This owner has been added. Now I'll come to my this. I'll run this query again. See. Now server error has been increased to 16. So that is what I'm just trying to say. And that's the redirection has been increased to 2. So I've added two owners. Okay. Owners new endpoint. Now I'll go to this edit owners endpoint. Okay. I'll just edit this. Let's see if this is getting reflected or not. Update owner. So let me go back to this. I'm just trying to show you that how application related matrices have been see. Now owner has been edited. Now this record just now came in. So I'm doing a live capture of my matrices, or you can say transaction level monitoring from here to here. Correct. So, I'm having this, I can simply create an alert on this metric, and whenever it is a job equals to not, status is not equals to 200, please, create an alert. So in that fashion, we'll be understanding how my application is behaving. So you saw what we did. Let me quickly, brief what we did. Okay. First of all, I made sure that I'm having Prometheus. I'm having Grafana. This I did not did it in today's session because it is already there. And then install application. It can be any application. It can be pet cleaning or it can be any your web application where you can do customizations. Install web-based application, modify your form.xml, make sure that you're adding these two dependencies to bring the Prometheus related endpoint matrices, and then add the below dependencies in application.properties, and then create a Maven package, and then run the application. You can run it background also, and then check the application on that particular port. Now application is emitting at matrices. Now you should install Otel Collector Agent to capture everything. Since we're talking about matrices only, I'll go through this documentation again. So the extensions, receivers, how many receivers you have? What will be this? Prometheus is one of the receivers, and then host matrix is one of the receivers, and then processor is. We are not doing anything. Export to something where we need to export. So there are only 3 sections in this: receivers, processor, and exporter. Now I'm creating my first pipeline, which is met pipeline. There's no log pipeline. So I can take from any receivers. I'm taking matrices from Prometheus, processing my batch and sending to remote, right, which is the Prometheus. Right. This is what is the next step we did. We install Open Telemetry Collector, and then finally we check the matrices on Prometheus, Grafana, and then we saw the ultimately the application is emitting the relevant matrices, and we did certain tests also, right? Generating errors and then adding people like that. Okay. So that is pretty much about this session. I'll come back here. I'll summarize what we did in this from PPT format. This is done. This is done. Okay. And then this was done. This was already done. This we did it today. Okay. And then we did this today also. So do let me know if you have looking for any particular use case on open telemetry. This is a very, very important topic you should understand for future. And if you have any comments or suggestions for me, please put into the comment section. And yes, last but not the least, do not forget to like and subscribe the channel, because those are very important sessions that I'm doing on open telemetry, and maybe make use out of it and then implement in your training project or anywhere you want. I will take a pause. Thanks for now. We'll see you later in our next video. Thank you. Bye bye.